Good afternoon. It's the Saints man, small van driver on the CX. It's Sunday the 7th. Got the magic book. Um, strange week. Strange week. After the massive week the week before, where we did a record week, this week, very, very poor. And not because there wasn't the work there, I don't think. Uh, I had a lot of days I couldn't do things. Tuesday, like Monday, I could do a full day if I wanted. I must get home though, because Tuesday I took my wife to hospital in the morning. She got a procedure need doing, uh, and it was first thing on her eye, which is fine. And Wednesday I had to get back and be done by 4 at the maximum latest, because I was working at night at the cafe. We had a massive charity rock night with a live band and all sorts. Brilliant night. Thursday I could do, which was my best day. I could do anything I wanted, but again, I couldn't stay out. I had to drive home because Friday I needed off because I had a consultant over this eye, which top consultant, after I'd had about 7 tests on both eyes, said this eye's knackered. Pretty much. That was his words, actually. He said, your eye's completely knackered. But it's still all right. This one, right one, is 100%. And that's why they can't work out why one is knackered and one's 100%. They thought there might be something behind it. I've had tests and tests and tests on Friday at Leicester. And yeah, it's all good. Well, that one is not good, but this one is 100%, which allows me to still drive restricted license, 3-year restricted license, which I've been doing for the last 12 or 15 years. So it's all good. It's what it is. Yeah, I could drive anything. Let's get this right. Not quite right. Could drive anything up to 3.5 ton. I can drive a caravan, but I can't drive anything after that. Every 3 years I get checked, and they give me another 3-year license. So my next license is up 2024, and then we'll check again. So last week it was pretty rubbish, really, but I knew it was going to be after a couple of days. I thought this is not going to happen this week, and I weren't really fussed because I did so much the week before. It all evens out, and that's the way it is. I started off Monday. I'd got a job booked in from Toaster when it was Silverstone, and it was going to Gaydon, Aston Martin. And when I got there, it was 7 steel boxes, which they were on a pallet. There were 6 on a pallet, and there was another one. And they were so big that I couldn't get them with a pallet on. But because I haven't got a bulkhead, I've got like the frame, but I haven't got a bulkhead at all. I've got the seats; they go forward. It's not a hatch where you open the door. It's actually clear frame. It's just a frame across to protect me, like a on a car when you have a steel frame. Can't remember what the word for it is. Wood roll cage. Roll cage. So it went in. The 7th, we took them off the pallet and we just about got them in. Didn't think it was going to go in, but they did. They took a while. We took a while to load them. They were aluminium boxes. They've got to go to Aston Martin. What was inside was fragile. And I went to Aston Martin at Gaydon. It was only 30 odd mile, and I booked 46 quid on it, but I had 15 mile to get to it, so it was £1 a mile all in. And it took some finding. Aston Martin, they've got so many different units. Got to the right one in the end. Security bloke got me there. Well played for him, because we'd been around the houses a couple of times and he knew exactly where it was in the end, and got it unloaded. Picked a job up then, because I didn't start that early and it was getting near lunchtime. I only got 46 for that. And I picked a little job up. I decided I was going to just stay local, and I weren't really fussed about doing much, to be honest. But I picked a job out of Coventry, which was just up the road, and it was going to Hinckley and Oakham. And it was 2 drops, agricultural stuff. It was literally 2 little pallets. I picked up near Coventry Airport from a logistics company I've done work before. And it was going, say, 1 drop Hinckley, 1 drop Oakham. I originally got £57 for that, because it was altogether, it was about 60 mile. I put 57 on it. That was getting there as well. I was Gaydon to Coventry was like 12 mile. And I did the first drop, Hinckley, straight away. Second drop on the way to Oakham. And I thought, get this tipped. If I get one more little job, days are good. And I got to where the delivery address was, in the middle of nowhere. It weren't even in Oakham. It was outside. It was past Oakham in like a forest, industrial little area. And when I got there, the company that I needed had moved a month ago. And I got the address for them. They moved back into Oakham, which was 12 miles away. 10 miles away, sorry. So I phoned the shipper up, because the address I got 2 items. were addressed for this industrial estate for this company, but they were in Oakham. And they says they've sent you to the wrong place. They shouldn't have sent you there. The central office knew. Can you deliver it? I said, yeah. I said, if you want to stick a tenner on it, I'll deliver it. Not a problem. Like, no problem at all. They put it straight through. They said, if you could do that for that, would be great. He says, and we must get our local offices to realise that they've moved. So I put a tenner on it. All good. 10 miles up the road into Oakham, right near where the services are, the Aldi. That's where I delivered in Oakham, if anyone knows. Dropped it off. But it took me a bit of time, a bit of waiting and pouncing around. And it was about 3 o'clock. And there's nothing coming out of Oakham. And I wanted to be home because I've got to take my wife Tuesday, so I couldn't even do a long one. If I hadn't got to get home Tuesday for Tuesday morning, I'd have done a long trip somewhere because there was a couple of Leicesters, one going to Scotland, believe it or not, and one going to Southampton. And I'd have bid on that and hopefully got one. But you've got to go home. Oakham is it's about 30 miles from my house, just the other side of Corby. I think it works out 35 miles. So I decided, sod it, I'll just drive home. So I did, and I was home at 4:30, done. So I started at 10:45. Started at 8 o'clock, 11:45. Started at 8 o'clock, done by 4:30. Had a little rest and all, nice and easy. £113, not brilliant money, but it worked out 60, even with the dead miles at 65p. So it wasn't brilliant. Tuesday, I'd sort of decided, well, I'll take my wife to the hospital. We knew she would be out there and she'd be home by 10:30. So a big motorbike on my. I thought, do I really want to work? I think I should just take the day off and be with her. As it happened, she was done quicker. I waited outside in the hospital, and she was done a lot quicker than what she thought she'd be, and everything's hunky-dory. So I picked her up, but while I was in the van, I checked on the feed. There was a job out of Northampton, NN4, going to Thatcham, 18 boxes. And I've been to this place in Thatcham before. I've been there a few times. The tip time weren't until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm thinking, if I get it tipped at 2, I'll get something back, it'd be great. If I don't, do I look for a long job? I can stay out, I can work Wednesday, or do I look for whatever? As it happened, Tuesday was an absolute rubbish day. I did this job, I booked it in at £68, roughly £1 a mile, just under. I'd still got to get to it though. So, sorry, a bit hoarse today. So I did. I went and picked it up. It was pick up at 11:30, and tip was at 2 o'clock. 18 boxes going to a distribution centre. Booking time 2 o'clock. So I got there just for 2. Well, I got there. I was outside. I waited outside. Went in at 1:45. Waited. Got on the bay about 1:55. 18 boxes. They checked them, and I was out the door 2:10. It's all good. Could I get a job out of Thatcham? No. Chris had phoned me as well to say, can you do a job for us Wednesday? I've got work. He said, I know you got bike night. I said, I can't do your Exeters because I won't get back. But he got another job going down to Blue Water. It was 4 drops in the morning. I said, yeah, I'll do that for you. So we booked that in for next day. So from Thatcham, this is where I was in Thatcham. I sat in Thatcham at 3 o'clock, and I thought I need a job getting me back closer to home. And there was nothing. I could have gone to Cornwall. I could have gone to Kent. I definitely could have gone to London, South London, Croydon. It's no good. Just as far worse off, actually. And I sat at Thatcham until 4, another hour. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to trundle back up the A34. And if I can get some going back Oxford to Bicester or Bicester to Northampton, anything for 40 quid, nothing. And do you know what I thought in the end? I thought, I can't be asked. What I should have done Tuesday was just took Tuesday off. For the sake of 68 quid, I've done rubbish. I've done about 40, 48, not quite 50p a mile, which is absolute pants. In hindsight, I should have just been Tuesday off and enjoyed it with my missus. But you learn lessons, and it's one, yeah, I can do that. I can take time off. You work for yourself, you see it, and you think, I'll do that, and I'll get something back. If you don't get nothing back, it ain't worth doing. Covered my costs. I worked for nothing, really. But that's what it was. So Wednesday, picked this job up from Chris. I went in at 6:15 to get the load Wednesday morning. It was 4 drops, and it was a full van load. Yeah, I had full van load, so it was I had about 40 boxes, and it rammed. But it's easy enough. I've done these before. Cambridge, Chelmsford, Stratford is right near the Olympic Stadium, retail park, retail units, right next to where West Ham play, right next to the Velodrome, and then down to Bluewater. And I quite like going to Bluewater. I don't know, it seems all right. I can park round by the M&S sort of food hall. It's free parking, so I've delivered. Get a coffee, chill out, and hopefully get a job somewhere home. Because I needed to get back for 4. And I was sat there and I thought, don't tell me I'm going to drive home again. Because I got 130 quid going down, which is all right. I thought, don't tell me I'm going to drive home empty. I thought, I'd even probably consider taking a job into London and then driving, if I got to North London or something, and then I can, or something from east to west, and that's what happened in the end. There was a job there, Purfleet to West 5, London West 5. It was at a DHL, Purfleet bypass, must have been there, and I picked a pallet up with 8 boxes on. Big boxes, but they were within the confines of the pallet. And it was to go to Ealing, West 5 in London. And it was going to like an office somewhere. But I got good instructions, and I got 50 quid, and it was only 27 miles. So that allowed me to drive home at the rest of the way empty, and I'd still be okay. So I took the job, and it takes you a while, North Circular, all the way around the North Circular from Purfleet. Went in on the A12 around the North Circular, but it run okay. Traffic wasn't too bad. And when I got there, it was in a mews, and it said this mews was under an archway. Park out the front. There's one loading. There's 2 loading parking spots because it's red, and park up, and you have to carry them in. I thought that's all right. But it was down a mews, a cobbled mews through an archway between shops. And at the back of the mews, these big shops, was this beautiful, beautiful shops. Really small, quaint. You could have been in the countryside somewhere, Cotswolds or somewhere. Cobbled flooring, cobbled drive down to the bottom. And there was a car park there. It was a Micra, one of them 500, Fiat 500s. And the bloke was at the bottom. I'd already phoned, and I said, I'll come down. I got my IVs on. He says, oh, you got my 8 box? I said, yeah, I have. I says, I'll back the van down. He went, ooh, I don't think so. He said, I said, well, that got down. I've only got a small van. I said, I'm sure I'll get it down. I said, because these boxes are quite heavy. There's 8 of them. And I presume you can't leave your place. You're the only one here. You'll need, so I put the van down. I got sort of that sort of either side of the van all the way back through these archways, 30 yards, and it opened up a bit, and I backed down to his back door. I'd already informed him that he needed to take the pallet as well, because I'm a courier and I'm on to another job. And he said, that's fine, I'll just put it by the recycling and that'll go. Fair enough. So he took the packaging off, the 8 boxes. I'm glad I got the van down, because they were quite weighty, and I would have had to walk them about 100 yards each, probably 2 at a time on a sack barrow, maybe even 1. So I saved a lot of time. So that was it. And that was job done, Ealing, because I went up Hanger Lane, straight up the M1 at home. And it was bike night, and it was a fantastic night. Us and Floyd, if I could edit and show you, but us and Floyd played brilliant. 2 sets. We had a live disco, rock disco, and we made a good wedge of money for the charity, 400 odd quid. And we all had a good night. I was knackered. I have to say it. I got home about 9:30 at night, knackered. I left my wife and the staff to clear it up, and I went home, did my paperwork, and I got a job booked in the next day, Thursday, a long job. Northampton, Southampton, Exeter, Bristol, Cardiff. Collect 6 o'clock in the morning. So I did £180 on the Wednesday. So still 20 quid short of what I wanted, but it's okay. And then I knew I got a good job booked in Thursday, which was 270 quid. I ended up in Cardiff. I'd got to get something out of Cardiff home. I had to be home because I've got this consultant appointment on Friday. So it was all truncated. I couldn't actually look. I couldn't just bid on anything and bid high and get one. It had to be a certain direction. And again, when I finished Cardiff, it was 2:45. And in Cardiff at 2:45, there's not a lot. There was a job down to St Austell. can't do that. There was a job to Swansea. It was only for, I couldn't do that. It weren't worth doing because I've got to come back. I've got to get home. There wasn't nothing going my way. There was one to London, which when I went to quote on, it had gone instantly. So I looked at the quickest way home Cardiff, which is through the Cotswolds, and I thought, you know what, I'll just start driving. It's a lot of dead miles, 130 odd dead miles, but I needed to be home. So I couldn't. If I knew how to be home and I couldn't get a job, I'd have tramped in Cardiff, and 270 quid, I'd have tramped, and I'd have got some at home Friday from Cardiff, no dead miles. Didn't happen. So that's what it is. So Friday, that was my week. That finished my week because Friday I've got an eye appointment in Leicester at 9:45, hoping it wouldn't be cancelled, which I can tell you now it wasn't. And then we went out for, my wife came with me because I couldn't drive. I had all these procedures. In fact, I was blurred my eyesight until about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I started having these procedures at 9:45, and I still couldn't see properly at 4:35. Quite an uncomfortable day, actually, to be honest. A lot of things shoved in, and eyes. Oh, gel. I must have had so many drops in my eyes, and gel, and plates, and you don't want to know. But it had to be done. So Friday afternoon, my bike went to Alex. So I got a Pan European, which Alex was having, and not Friday afternoon, Friday evening. I waited till about 6:30. That went to there. Then Saturday, Julie had another eye appointment with a consultant just to follow up, and everything was hunky dory. And we had a chilled out Saturday. Didn't do a lot, just generally cleaned the van, had the other bike out, had a little trundle. Today, I've been out on my motorbike on the Blackbird since 9 o'clock. I got in about 2 o'clock, about an hour ago. Mega. What a great ride. And that's it. That's the week. Mileage was only just over 1,000. Well, it was 1,017. So it was no mileage whatsoever. It was half what I did the week before. I did 38 hours. That was every hour, including all the dead miles driving home and all the waiting time, which I waited in Thatcham for God knows how long on Tuesday. I did 20 hours driving, all in, all week. 631 gross, which for 4 days is 169 quid under what I really want. But that's what it is. And I averaged just over 63 pence, pence per mile, which ain't brilliant. But a lot of things done. That's the way the week goes. Next week, I'm planning to do 5-day week. I've got to start Monday tomorrow. I've got a pick up in Northampton at 7. Dropping not far away, actually, about a mile away, 30 boxes, and then 6 boxes I'm taking up to Mansfield. And hopefully we'll be in Mansfield 10:30, done, tipped, looking for a job. And I'm pretty much, hopefully, going to do 5 days. But you never know, do you? You never know. We've had a really good week, as in on the Monday I'm not involved with it now. I work as a courier full time. That's my job. But Julie, my wife, and Natasha, stepdaughter, they've handed their notice in at the cafe, and they finished the cafe at the end of August. It's just they're working too hard, and not they're breaking even, really. They're working too hard. So the cafe, we finish it on August the 29th, which is a bank holiday Monday, and then we've got 2 days to get the stuff out if we have to get anything out, because we own most of it, or whoever takes it on buys it as it is with all the stuff in, and take the staff on. It looks like they might have got a buyer in to us. It's up to the landlord, and he's put someone in who's very interested in taking it on, and interested in taking our staff on, or my wife's staff, and that'll be good for my wife because we're getting near retirement. My wife's working her ass off, and we're breaking even. In these times, it's so hard. Hospitality, cafes, everything is hard. With the price of everything gone astronomical, and we are going to go into recession. Mark my words, we are. By October, with all the utility bills on the cafe, incredible. It's gone up so much. And the harder they work, the more they bring in, the more they pay out. And it just was bad. It wasn't going nowhere. So that was a big decision this week. So that's why I wasn't really on it for work as well, because we're supporting the decision that they made. Hopefully, my wife can have a chill out then, and we'll sort out. But yeah, we've been CAF 12 years. I think the people who are going to take it on, they've met with my wife, they've met with the landlords, met them. We've had one meeting. They'll have another couple of meetings next week to see roughly talk figures, what they want to put, what they want to buy, what they want to offer us for the stuff and the goodwill. And if it comes to the right figure, hopefully my wife, she'll be able to retire or do a little part-time job. She's already got a few things in the offing, hopefully. So yeah, it's going to be very strange not having anything to do with the cafe by the end of this month. But as far as I'm concerned, it's going to be a relief because it's less hours for my wife, so it looks after her and my daughter and all that. So that's it. I've been watching the videos. I gathered Neil's van's still knackered from what I hear, which is not good. Hope he gets sorted. I haven't heard nothing from Toolman Smallval. I didn't phone him last week. I'll phone him next week, hopefully. Dave at Anvil Logistics, give me a shout out. Didn't have to work so hard last week, Dave. So if you look at this one, I was chill, but I was knackered the week before. I see you're doing well, which is good. And obviously, I'm listening to James at Freddie Fletcher. It's very good. There's another one I've started listening to, and it's First Class Transport, a guy in London. Interesting videos as well. So that's another one I'm looking at. But with subscriptions now, funny, I never normally look, because I never look back at this. This is unedited. What you see is what you get. I very rarely listen to it back because my voice is horrible. But I've got 398 subscriptions. I hadn't looked for a while. And I just want to get over the 400. So if anyone's watching and they haven't subscribed, don't cost you anything. Push the subscribe button. This is blatant plugging of the Saints man, the small van driver. Who cares? I might even start doing some editing. If you can subscribe, I'll start editing. If I get over 420, I'm going to say next week, I'm going to learn how to edit. Do something a bit more professional. I ain't got a clue what. Just watch this space. But hey, MotoGP's on now, so I've got to pack up because I want to watch that. That's why we've been out this morning. We've had a right razz round of flying around. So MotoGP this afternoon, then we're going out to my brother-in-law's and have a bit of tea. So all the best. Anyone on any comments, please comment and I will try and answer. I'll do my best to answer any questions. Anyone need advice, if you want to phone me, you find my phone number or you message me and ask me privately for my phone number. I'm quite happy to help anyone. I think it's still improving. The CX, there was less work on there last week, and I believe there's a reason for that as well. And this is my reasoning. It was the end of the month the week before. Everyone's pushing to get everything out at the end of the month and get their invoices out because they pay 30 days end of month. Well, if you send an invoice out 2 days before the end of the month, that end of that month, 30 days, is the end of the next month. If you leave it and send work out like last week, it's 30 days end of month, it's end of September. Because the end of the month is August, and then it's 30 days end of September. That's why I think at the start of the month, I haven't looked in my book to see if that's historically true, but I am sure that's what it is. The end of the month, everyone pushes to get everything out at the end of the month so they can get their invoices out into their client's hands and say, you've got 30 days to the end of the month. It's now July the 28th, 30 days end of the month. The end of the month is July 31st. It's the 30th of August. That's what I think anyway. I may be talking total shite, but I normally do. But hey, like I say, hope you do well. Hope you're making money. Speak to you next week.